Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. On today's video, I have this Velex radio here. It takes a 3-inch hole, works like UTVs, side-by-sides, ATVs, boats, golf carts. I ordered this for a golf cart. I'm not sure exactly which one we're going to put it on, but on today's video, we're going to run through all the features. Let me show you a little bit about it in case you may be interested in one of these as well. This one comes with a waterproof wireless remote, and I've tested that, and I'll show that in the video. All in all, this looks to be a pretty good radio here, very inexpensive. I'll place a link in the description below if you want to check this out for yourself. All right, once you get the radio open, remove the piece of foam. The first thing you come to here, this right here is going to be a template, so you know where to mark your 4 holes to mount your radio and to also cut the 3-inch hole in your dash for the radio. You have a wiring diagram here. This is without the switch for the ignition wire. This is with a switch for the ignition wire, so it shows you exactly how to mount and power your radio on. This right here is going to be for the wireless remote that's included in the box. And then you're going to have a quick start guide as well. First thing we're going to pull out here is going to be the trim ring. This is the part here that goes around the radio. This right here is the wireless remote. It says here to charge before using. Next thing we're going to pull out here is going to be the wiring harness. And we'll go over all the wires here. So your yellow is going to be your memory wire for power. Red is going to be ignition wire for power. Black is going to be ground. Blue is going to be remote amp turn on. Your pair of white wires is going to be the front left. Your pair of gray wires is going to be the front right. Green wires are going to be the rear left, and purple is going to be rear right. Now we have the radio as well, and it's packed in pretty good foam. This is the front of the radio, and it says it supports USB up to 16 gigabytes max. The buttons feel really good on here. The rotary knob feels nice. So there you go, that's the front of the radio. And these are the 4 mounting holes around the perimeter. On the back of the radio, it has a rubber gasket there. You can tell it's sealed. On the back of the radio here, you have your main connection for the harness that we just went over. You have a USB input. You have an antenna input. You have your aux input. You have your subwoofer mono output. You have your video output. You have your video input. And you have your rear channel output for an amplifier. Let's wire this right here up and go over the features of the radio. So the unit comes with 4 screws in order to mount the radio down. So I have the radio powered on. I've hooked to a 12-volt lithium battery. I have 2 speakers hooked up. My positive wire is going to the yellow and the red together. My black is going to the ground. My white set of speaker wires is going to this speaker, and the gray set is going to this speaker. Now in order to power the radio on, we're going to hit the source button at the bottom left. Take a few seconds, it's going to come on. It says Velex. We hit the menu button. This right here is going to go through our sources. So scroll to the left. This top menu here is for your USB thumb drive. We're going to insert a USB thumb drive in here. This right here is playing a MP3 song here. If we want to go back to the menu, we can go to movie. Press this right here. This shows you a movie that's going on here that I've downloaded to the unit. You can turn the volume up and down. And if you want to watch pictures through the USB thumb drive, hit menu again, go over to photo. There's a picture here, and there's another picture there. So you can run through pictures as well on the thumb drive. And if you want to go back to the menu here, hit it one more time, go to radio. You're going to click radio. That's going to be your radio. You can change the channel through these buttons here. Say we wanted to set this radio station to that preset there, we're going to hold this right here button down. It says saving, and it says success, and it's saved right there. Now let's say we're playing Bluetooth or aux in or radio or whatever, and you wanted to mute this. There's a mute button. Hit it one time, it mutes. Hit it again and it starts playing the music again. Now let's say we want to turn the brightness down on the radio. On the mute button here, you just hold it down and it makes it a little bit dimmer. Hold it down again, and it makes it brighter. So whatever you're doing, let's say the volume thing is showing there, you want to get out of it, you just hit the back button one time, it'll get out of the menu. You hit back button again, it takes you to the main menu. Go over here to select Bluetooth. We have Bluetooth playing through YouTube. And showing over here. Now it shows you the artist, the song, the album, and what it's coming from. Like in my case, this is a Galaxy S9 Plus, but it does not show album artwork. Another thing, if we go back to the menu here, you're gonna have auxiliary input. So on this right here, radio, you have an aux input in case you want to listen to music that way. You could do it as well, and that's gonna be this cable here. All right, this is the settings. We can go ahead and hit settings here. Shows your system time. If we wanted to change this, we're going to press the volume button in. We're going to rotate this right here. So let's say 3. We're going to connect this over here, 334. And the time is set. We're going to go to time format. It either shows 12 or 24. We're going to leave it on 12. We go to English here, shows English, Portuguese, Norway, Lithuanian, Polish, Finnish, Dutch, Italian, French, Spain, Germany, and back to English. Go to voltage here. It shows 13.6 volts, and that's what that battery is putting out. If we wanted to restore to factory settings, we could. And you have version, which this is the VX526. Now, if you're listening to your thumb drive, you listen to radio, Bluetooth, auxiliary input, you want to set the settings of the radio. We're going to first turn it and see the volume. So you got bass, mids, treble, balance, fader. You have a subwoofer. You have loudness on and off. You have EQ. There's classic, rock, and pop. And it goes back to volume. So this right here is what the radio looks like with the trim ring. So after you put the mounting screws in each corner, you put this trim ring on to have the screws. I think that looks pretty good as well. So this right here is the wireless remote. You have 6 different buttons. You can change the channel, your volume up and down, play, pause, and source. And on the back side, you have some double-sided tape so you can mount this right here away from the radio. Now it takes a Type-C USB charging cable. And notice there's no inputs anywhere on it. So you have to actually take the remote, twist it to the left, come out, then you can charge it right there at the very top. Once you get it back in there, twist it back together, and you're good to go. So you can actually just take this right here unit and mount it. You can actually use screws to mount it or the double-sided tape. That's up to you. Once you have it recharged, put it back in its mount, and you're good to go. Now on the wireless remote, you got that center portion here, and that's a light. So every time you hit a button, it will illuminate green. So right now we're about 20 feet away from the radio, and you can't hear the radio. We're going to turn it up. It's playing. We're going to turn it down. So the remote has a pretty good distance as well. So if you have a side-by-side, you have a golf cart, you have a RV, maybe a boat, I would highly recommend this Velex radio here. This has been an entire video review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks.